Practitioners face a lot of challenges trying to make equity-minded changes because any sort of change pushing against the status quo is hard. And so when we're working in large institutions, they reproduce their own process. Systems like this just recapitulate themselves. So we're pushing against that. And in doing so, if I work with our human resources office and say we need to try to diversify our applicant pools, there's an implicit critique there. We're not doing a good job with our applicant pools. If we're saying we need to increase the student body diversity, then our admissions people might feel like we're criticizing them. So it takes a level of humility to recognize we can always do better, and that's hard for people. This outsider's coming in and saying you need to do things differently, I don't like that. The other thing that I see sometimes is principled opposition to diversity, equity, and inclusion work framed as administrative impossibility. So I was in a conversation at another institution about possibility of race and ethnicity course requirement. This was something that Black students had requested of administration. The response from faculty was generally, we should do a general course on power and oppression. We should do a more general course on diversity. And that's not a bad thing, but that's not what the students were asking for. So for some people, I recall a philosophy professor at that institution saying, we won't be able to create a race and ethnicity course requirement because we can't add credits. We've already got a full general education. We can't change it. What if somebody thinks a class on personal finance is important? Maybe that should be the class, right? These were some of the arguments. And he said, sometimes to avoid the accusations of not supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion, or being racist or sexist or homophobic or any of these negative sort of labels, we'd rather say, oh, this is not something we can do. It's just not feasible. I have a colleague that works at Berea College, which is in Kentucky, and was educating Black and white students side by side prior to the Civil War. That school has a legacy of interracial education, so when they have issues and are coming up against obstacles related to opposition to diversity, equity, and inclusion, my colleague can lean on the fact that at its founding, this institution was designed for interracial education, right? That's a unique thing. That's not where most of us are, but it speaks to the importance of the institutional history and legacy and whether that can be a support or a challenge for practitioners of diversity, equity, and inclusion.